The first round of creative destruction in corporate India began in 1991 with Dr. Manmohan Singh and Narasimha Rao's reform. And that has had entirely beneficial consequences for India. I do believe that the second round of similar destruction is now on. I stand today in an office in Noida where some of that is being done, and my guests this week, two of these new disruptors. Vijay Shekhar Sharma, founder of Paytm, you wear it on your chest, and Ritesh Agarwal, founder of OYO Rooms. You're almost too young, not too young to vote, but too young to stand in elections.
Yeah, that's right.
21 years old? Just about 21 years old.
Yeah.
So, are you disruptors? And who is each one of you disrupting?
Michelangelo said that I just remove what is not necessary and I build a beautiful sculpture. I think we are, with technology, we are removing what is not needed. I think this is not.
You rehearsed for this?
I didn't.
You did?
Well, between us, I tell my team, some of you who are shit movers are those who are Michelangelos because he did this. Remove what is not necessary, gets a great output.
And you see yourself as a disruptor, and what are you disrupting?
So I think not really. I think I look at myself as a creator, and the belief is saying we are creating something which was needed for a long time, but unfortunately nobody created it earlier. So possibly it was for us to create what we had to.
So tell us about what you've created. Then we'll ask you to talk about yourself. But OYO Rooms, what is OYO Rooms?
So OYO is today, in a year and a half, India's largest brand of hotels, which possibly people have taken hundreds of years to build for a long time here in India. We have, in real terms, democratized the way people would think at hotels across the country. We operate across 100 cities today, across budget, premium, and upmarket categories, where people are able to get consistent hotel experiences.
But you don't own any hotel.
We don't own a single hotel.
You don't own a single share in a single hotel.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. But we still control every hotel by means of technology. I would know at this point of time what's happening in each room where a consumer has checked in at a
Not inside each room. That will be troublesome.
I mean, up to some extent, yes. Inside each room until people are ordering food. But time out. Can we? Just kidding.
Okay.
But that's right.
So, what are you doing to disrupt? I know that you got big bankers, I was told, irritated with you.
No, I think we are changing the face of Indian economy by changing the way people use currency. Traditionally, this country has been cash-centric. We move money, we pay anyone, we pay a shop, we pay each other using cash. And cash is very not good for economy overall. It enhances corruption, it is tough to carry, it is costly. And once you digitize that, the world becomes a better place. I believe that we as Paytm are changing the way Indians pay anyone. And today we are 100 million users. And in next 5 years...
That is 10 crore.
That is 10 crores.
So who do you disrupt? He's disrupting established hotel chains, because when he says that this is the largest hotel chain, then I think Taj, I think Oberoi. I know they have arguments, but he is creating trouble for them.
Correct. So I don't think we are creating trouble. We are enhancing. So Indians are very deprived of financial inclusion, if you notice. We are about 200 million, 20 crore of us who have bank account and services, financial services, and there is a 500 million of us who deserve it. So Paytm is reaching out to those people who are not served. Actually, we are augmenting the scope of Indian economy. Our mission statement says that we will bring 500 million Indian to the mainstream economy. And that is where we, instead of disrupting, I personally believe that we are augmenting to the space where traditional BFSIs have not reached.
But at the same time, you're forcing the banks to change their business model.
That
their
is
profit
inevitable.
model.
That is inevitable for some time, because once the technology starts to get into an industry, that industry fundamentals need to be relooked. It has happened across retail.
Banks make too much money.
They should, but they should distribute it to deserving and needed.
Because something has to fund $100 Hermes ties.
Maybe that is what it is, and at the same point of time, I believe that as Indians, we deserve to live a better life than we've been till this now. It is easy to get a 6,000 crore rupee of loan, but not 6 lakh rupees or 60,000.
And if you get a 6,000 crore rupee loan, you don't even have to return it.
Yeah, you can get away by paying 1/100th of it. We know whom are we talking.
I know banks are told to take a haircut, which I usually call a mundan.
Correct.
Not a haircut.
So our
ensuring.
Correct. What you said is exactly what our belief is, that every Indian should be able to get a bank account, every Indian should be able to pay digitally, and every Indian should be able to come on a credit note circle. So typical these informal banking systems like chit funds, like micro lendings which are very pricey, all those things are the evil of economy.
All your Saradas and even Sahara and all these things, because banking is not available there.
Truly.
Okay.
So what
but you can't take deposits yet.
We yet, but government has given us a permission for payment bank, which will allow us to run a
up to 1 lakh.
deposit, 1 lakh.
Up to 1 lakh.
1 lakh rupee of concurrent balance. I can
Right.
cycle that to
And
investments.
you can keep on filling it up. So, Ritesh, what's your mission statement? I know at 21 you can change it 20 times. But
Yeah.
what is it now?
No, I think somebody had told us that with every creation of your product, your mission statement gets bolder and bigger. But I think for us, the mission statement is saying we want to change the way how people stay away from home in India. I want to reiterate that we are not disrupting anyone.
You want to change the way how people stay away from home.
Yeah. Because our belief is saying 6 times as many people stay with relatives to the number of people who stay at hotels, which is a large market. That is like reality is. That's what I was.
It's very tough in India to have relatives.
Yeah.
It's a relative problem.
It's a relative problem. I mean, I remember as a child, whenever I would go to a new city, my family would not know the person.
You're still a child.
Yeah, I mean,
a child.
I would go to a different city, and my family would find some distant relative whom none of us ever had any idea of, and we would stay at their house because apparent issues, right? You
Atithi
didn't know-
Devo Bhav. You know what I mean?
I know.
So, our belief is, like you said, and like Vijay mentioned, we are not disrupting an industry. These are the masses who were never served in this country. There is no mass market hotel brand in the country which has more than 400 million travelers. I mean, that is a huge market to be solving a problem for. And for us, the belief is we want to make sure that people should have their own house and everything else should be Oyo. And in the future, our belief is houses will become a lot more easier with Oyo than without Oyo. So that's sort of the long-term vision that we have at Oyo.
So we see where Paytm comes from.
Pay through mobile.
Pay through mobile. Where does Oyo come from?
This is a story we generally don't talk about. The reason why we don't talk about it is because it can communicate something which we don't stand for. But I'll give you the background, and this is the first time. So as a child, like I said, I used to stay in relatives' houses, and I used to find it incredibly crazily bad that I could not control the TV remote.
Right.
And
It is very oppressive.
Yeah, and I felt I wanted to do it, and hence it came with on your own that I should be independent to stay wherever.
Oyo is on your own.
That's right.
Wow, that's not bad actually. That's
not
a
bad,
beautiful
yeah.
name.
I mean,
The reason why we
so
don't.
good, it looks like an afterthought to me.
Yeah, actually, and in fact, when you tell somebody that you are on your own and I'll give you accommodation, this is incredible vision in itself.
Yeah.
I really admire that.
So the reason why we don't talk about it outside is because for a functional user, it might mean that it is all self-service, which it is not.
Which is not.
Because we enable a very, very assisted module for consumers. But that's sort of the way the name came from.
197 you stole from what used to be DOT then, before MTNL came in.
Correct.
197 is the number you called. You were just
Yeah.
about 10 years old then. Not even, not what 10 years. You were
7 or 8
barely
year
born
old,
yet,
he was
yes.
barely born. He was
Right.
programming something.
He was programming, yes. I think just before that, Jaglan fellow became world champion in his category in golf.
Yes.
He was our last prodigy. But at that point, when your phone broke, if you wanted to know somebody's phone number,
Yeah.
you called
You'd call-
197. It was
Yeah.
called telephone inquiries.
Yes.
And usually, you were put on a wait, and it said, कृपया इंतजार कीजिए आप कतार में हैं ये रिकॉर्डिंग है
उससे बात नहीं करें.
so you don't start conversation
So actually,
so it was
our company
197
name came from that.
from that
So on
197
internet, you search 197, you should see us, and we will tell you the name and number of the person
Right.
who you are searching. Business was
so
totally,
nobody from DOT came complaining to you,
I
or
think
they had not trademarked
I've
it.
learned one thing in this country. People want to pull you down. People want to claim a problem with you only when you are super successful. Before that, everybody is allowed. That is the problem both ways. Because before that, everything is allowed.
And
we get
once you become
victimized.
successful, then everything is questioned. People go
That's
after
the
you.
straight
That's right. So back to you.
Yeah.
So when does entrepreneurship start? At the age of 13, 12, 11? What? When?
I think entrepreneurship is either sort of the way you live your life, and second, for me, it started when I was started my first company was 3 years ago, which is the company that I've been building for a while. It started as a very different company to begin with, where I would enable online booking of hotels and rooms. For a few months, continued doing that. During that period, I would stay in a new bed and breakfast, serviced apartment, guest house every day, and realized that the experiences are extremely broken. You pick up the phone, call the hotel owner, he won't pick up the phone. Reach the hotel, no sign.
That's like a 7-star in America.
Absolutely.
The same thing happens. I've never had the pleasure of having anybody actually
Available
to help with bags.
Yeah.
I have never been able to get room service in time.
That's capitalist world.
Yeah.
You need to throw a little more money.
Yes,
Yeah.
and at the Waldorf Astoria,
Yeah.
I asked for tea and they said we can't service tea. Why don't you walk down 1.5 blocks away? There's
a great shop.
a Starbucks. Right.
It is true.
So I think
So it's not just bum hotels in India.
It's a global problem.
So given that was a problem, the belief was saying we wanted to solve it regardless of what it meant. We did not have the fortune of having a global comparison where you would say that there is a global company that is similar to yours. And hence we had to create the wheel every time. But started with one hotel where I used to be the housekeeping guy, the sales guy, everything that would be. And that is the reality with every entrepreneur. I possibly can do housekeeping better than many other hospitality guys in this country. In a year and a half, we've been able to build India's largest hotel brand with 2,500 hotels, 25,000 rooms, and more than 500,000 nights booked every month. So, and we continue to grow at...
Your last investor round was at valuation of 15,000 crores?
Yeah, I mean, officially I am not totally going to go on television saying that because this is sort of confined into numbers, but we raised ample amount of money to keep us going for next 3-4 years.
And who were your last investors, the big investors?
Alibaba affiliate, Alipay.
Jack Ma.
Jack Ma's.
Ah.
Yeah.